Hello, biodiversity team. This is BiodiversiTalks, where we have conversations on biodiversity conservation with the most celebrated nature advocates in the ASEAN region. I am Teresa Mundita Lim, or Doc Moon, from the ASEAN Center for Biodiversity. I'm excited today because I have a co-host who is joining me right now. Please introduce yourself, Arbs.
Yes, hello, I'm Arvin Desmos, and I'm very thrilled to be with you, Doc Moon. And how are you doing?
I'm great, Doc Arbs, and welcome to our Biodiversity Talks. I'm happy that you can join me as co-host today. And for the information of our viewers, Dr. Arvin Desmos, or Doc Arbs, is a well-known herpetologist in the Philippines, a respected academician of the National Academy of Science and Technology, and currently the Senior Director of the ACB's Biodiversity Knowledge Management Department. Arbs?
Thank you, Doc Moon. The pleasure is mine. In the last episode of Biodiversity Talks, we featured nature storyteller Celine Murillo. But this time, as part of the ASEAN Month, we have another very popular, very famous communicator, educator, and influencer who hails from Singapore.
Yes, she's here with us to share her work and advocacy in popularizing science and nature, including biodiversity. Our guest started as a YouTuber who founded the social media channel called Just Keep Thinking. Let us welcome Kong Manjing, famously known as Biogirl MJ. Hi, MJ, how are you?
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all, and thank you for having me here. I'm very excited to share with everyone what I know and learn from each other.
I know. I'm glad to see you again after meeting you in person in Singapore. So I really wished we could have done this in one of your sites, but we'll have to make do with what we have at the moment. So we are really pleased to have you in our program.
Hey, MJ.
Same. Hi. Nice to meet you, Dr. R.
Very pleased to meet you. So we would like to know more about you. And so let's start with yellow. So we've noticed that yellow is a trademark in many of your videos. So tell us more about it. Is it your favorite color?
That is a question I get very often. So yes, yellow is my favorite color. Let me just show you guys. Like, this is my laptop sleeve. It's yellow. My back it's yellow. My clip is yellow, and my iPod casing is yellow. I really do like yellow in general. I think it's a very happy color. It's a very positive color. It reminds you of sunshine, sunflower, and minions. You know, they are yellow and they are always like happy and goofy. So I think I want to convey that in my videos as well. You know, it's always, it's not like a sad or negative video. It always ends off positively, something that's happy, something that people will take home with, you know, in a very positive manner. Leave the video like feeling with hope.
Yeah, yes, it does. It does connote. Yellow does connote happiness. If you think about the sunshine. So I'm really curious to know what inspired you to do what you are doing now. Was there an experience in your childhood that resonated with you, so that to be able to be a content creator and an influencer at this point in time? Did you have a big dream then?
Well, to be very honest, I have no dreams of becoming a content creator or becoming famous at all. I think back then, when I was younger, content creator is not a thing. Influencer is not a thing, right? It's more like, being on TVs. I just really love science a lot. Like since young, I know that was the topic that I wanted to delve deeper into. Yeah, when I received my first encyclopedia when I was just like 6 years old, like it was only like the biological sides of things that I'm looking at, and I not the rest. So I just really enjoyed science a lot. And as I grew up, I realized that there's a very big communication gap between the scientific community and the mainstream community. Like if people who don't have the fortunate chance to actually learn about science, because of other reasons, they actually don't get to know this whole entire world, of how amazing science is and how it explains a lot of the phenomena that we see around us. I think that's very, very powerful, and it lets you get to see the world in a different light. Yeah, so I was a bit sad that some people don't get the opportunity. Some people who studied different things, they lost that spark in science. So I think my whole goal was to try and bridge this communication gap between this smaller scientific community and the bigger audience out there. Yeah, and afterwards I became a teacher. So I think teaching is part of science communication, right? How do you transfer this knowledge to the younger generation? How do you teach them in a way that actually sparks their interest, gets their engagement? So that experience really helped a lot in what I'm doing now. And as the world progresses and now we're all media savvy and there's things like influencers and content creators. That's where I realized that social media is a very powerful tool in terms of storytelling and to communicate science to a wider range of audience, right? In fact, not only limited to your own country, but to the rest of the world. Yes. So I did not want to become a famous Instagram influencer or anything, but I think it was when I met my co-founder. So he is a videographer, and that's when our skills actually match. So he can create videos. I know the knowledge and I can host. So combining our skills together, we can create educational videos, and then we just decided to post it online for fun. So it started out as a side passion project. But that first video got like thousands of views within the first week. And then that's where we realized where we're gonna post more and see how it goes. So, from one single post, we've gone up to 2, 3, 4, and then the followers keep racking up. And then the rest is history.
Yeah. So MJ, you have a lot of your subject matter, it ranges from invasive alien species to forest to the sea. I mean, what how do you select your subject matter per episode?
Well, I try to give a range of topics because my goal is to reach out to the mainstream community, right? And I feel like if I restrict myself to a certain topic focus, the audience might get bored at the end of the day, or like they might lose interest because it seems to be the same thing, even though it might be different animal, right? But in the eyes of the audience, it's like, it's the forest again, it's the sea again, it's like it's a starfish again. It might be a different starfish, but it's still a starfish. So we try to switch things up by introducing different pillars of science. So we are ultimately still a science channel. It's just that I really love nature a lot, and I graduated with environmental biology degree, so I just focus a lot on providing nature content. But we try to do things like food science or the weather, because when it's hot and due to climate change, everyone knows about it. So we kind of keep things a mix as long as related to the theme of science. Yeah, and as much as I can, I will slot in my biodiversity and environment topics. Yeah, so with the whole range of, just science being the main theme, gives us a lot of leeway to explore other different topics that might not be necessarily nature related. Yeah, but it's so fun for me as well because I get to learn. And, when you make linkages between the different topics, you get to see a bigger picture, especially when things like the difference in climate, how it affects not just the animals, but also people's livelihoods, the weather, the food, and how it all connects together.
But are there other challenges that you faced along the way, and just to share so that those who are starting as content creators would know how to move forward, especially the younger generation? I noticed in some of your videos you have you have interns. So yeah. So how else are you handling some of the challenges that you are facing as a science communicator?
I think the biggest challenge, especially when I'm just starting, right? So I think this is something not just science communicators face, but any content creators. Once you have a piece that goes viral, you kind of have the expectation that you want the rest of your piece to go viral as well. But that doesn't work. Like you can go viral and next day it goes back down to the same number that you have always been seeing. So that took a while for me to accept, that suddenly you're all this very high and then suddenly you're going all the way back down. Yeah, but that's all part of the process of being a content creator. Not all of your content will go viral. You have one viral one, but the next one probably not, just because of how the algorithm works, and you can't really control how the audience thinks. But I think that's one part of content creation that I got accepted very quickly at the very beginning. And I think secondly, as a biodiversity communicator, especially on social media, it's a little bit different. So your typical social media, people go there for entertainment, right? You want to see funny videos, you want to see people dancing, you want to know lifestyle content, you want to know you want to watch people eat, you want to know where's the next foodie place, you want to know where to buy the good makeup stuff, yeah, all those things. In fact, you might be interested in like fitness. Social media has traditionally been very lifestyle focused. No one really goes there specifically to learn because when they go social media, they just want to relax, right? Like maybe on YouTube, they'll specifically find a topic to learn from, in the 20 minutes video. But when it comes to Instagram and TikTok, and even Facebook, when it's purely a scrolling process, you just want to laugh and be entertained. And I think that's something I keep in mind a lot all the time, and that's something I can share with other aspiring science communicators. Is people are not really there to learn. So once you start off with a very heavy topic and you try to put as much jargon and much details, that's where you start to lose them because they're not there to they're not there to learn ultimately. So how can you present the information in a way that hooks them in and makes them find it interesting and entertaining, but they get to learn along the way at the same time? So the entertainment part is very important. It's very not sciencey because as people like us with science background, like we want to go, the step-by-step way. And if we have written research papers, which I'm sure both of you did, you know how vigorous it is and there's a certain format to follow. But when it comes to social media, it's actually the other way around. You just give the main point, and you have to always try to find relatable points to share with the audience to keep them engaged. If not, it just takes one swipe and the video is gone. Yeah, and if I can just share one last challenge for being a communicator and being in the public eye, this is something that's faced by anyone who starts to get more recognition. And as your followers grow, that's where the criticism comes a bit more often. And in fact, for ridiculous things that it's not something that I usually face. But I'm very lucky because a lot of my content is based on facts. So once I show the facts, and if someone doesn't believe it, then there's nothing much I can do, especially during COVID period where there's a lot of misinformation spread around. Like, the vaccine is going to change our DNA. I'm like, oh my goodness, like now I need to explain to these people. So that's one good thing is compared to other content creators who are mainly based on opinion. So that is something that, people can argue the entire day. But for me, I think because people see me as, the environmental champion, so they do hold me in certain regard. So even things like, I can just be very honest here. Like there's one time where I create a video when I'm eating a scallop sushi because I was in Japan. But I wanted to show that the scallop meat that we eat is actually the adductor muscle of the scallop itself. So there's a science twist to show that hey, this is actually this part of the scallop and not the entire scallop. Yeah, but people were not many, like it's actually one or two, but they were upset that I was actually eating an invertebrate in front of the camera. Yeah, so yeah, it's a bit weird because I'm like, I'm not exactly like eating whale or something, but I know, it's part of like as being a content creator, I guess. Yeah. So these kind of things happen. Like people do expect me to be a vegan, a vegetarian. I'm supposed to act in a certain way in my cameras or preach a certain message. Yeah, but I think I decided to take a stance where I can be more relatable to the audience out there. So I try my best to reduce my meat intake, but if I cannot, I don't want to pretend that I can, and I want to show people how we can all work towards that direction together.
So MJ, so in your videos you talk a lot about biodiversity, right? So what is your secret weapon in communicating biodiversity to to the public?
To be honest, I think of all the environmental topics out there, I think biodiversity is something that people really enjoy. I mean, who doesn't like animals, right? Like, come on, like a cute slow loris, a pangolin in front of you. How can you not like that? So, as I mentioned previously, I think keeping in mind that entertainment is an important factor of the video itself and not so much of the content. Content is important, but at the end of the day, if they are not even hooked to watch your videos, right? They're not even going to watch it. So all your efforts are wasted, basically. So that's one important part when it comes to sharing biodiversity content. Like keep it light, keep it simple, keep it entertaining first and foremost. Like just think about how you would watch other videos, right? What makes you stay on in the other videos that is not about science, right? So when you take that formula and apply it to science, then that's where you can find a format that works. And I think for biodiversity content, there's a few tips that I can share to gain someone's attention online. I mean, so you can start off with, just the image of the animal alone, especially if it's a very, very interesting image. But if you put those visual images or visual footages right at the beginning, that's where it's like, whoa, like what is this? And then you can start off your intro behind. So the rearrangement of your content is important in a video also because you technically only have the first 3 seconds to capture an audience attention before they decided that they're not going to watch the video.
So
Oh,
MJ, so give us 3 things that you want your followers or us from us baby boomers and Gen Xers to remember you by. What are those 3 things that you want us to remember you?
Oh my goodness. This is a tough one. I think first off, we can start off with the yellow. Our first question. I really do like yellow. And second question is, second thing I want to remember is I try to make learning as fun as possible. Yeah, so that's one part that, something that people can remember me. And I think the third one is is it all right to say to follow me on Just Keep Thinking? Yeah, like I'll be there and we are very open to having new ideas. So a lot of the times, the audience is the one giving me great ideas to create videos about. So if our followers can remember our channel, you can always DM me an idea that you have, and if it fits what we're going to share on our channel, we can create a whole video about it and you can see your ideas come to life.
Oh, so so you want your followers and everyone like us, the baby boomers, who will want to remember you through Just Keep Thinking. Actually, I'm starting to look at your earlier post now. It's very interesting, and I'm trying to share it with actually my children are sharing it with me because they're your followers.
That's great. Oh, thank you so much.
Oh yeah. So after just is there anything next with you in Just Keep Thinking? Are there any upcoming events that your followers would want your followers to look forward to?
Well, there's many things coming up. So in this our channel, we're still trying to grow it and reach out to more people, right? I mean, it's a few 100,000, but it could be 1 million, and I want to reach out to people outside of Singapore, which we have been. So we have been reaching out to the regional audience and also audience specifically like from the UK and the US. So we have a sizable audience from there as well. And I think it's great because now we can showcase not just like local biodiversity, but regionally what Southeast Asia has to offer. And I'm hoping to do more content in Southeast Asia. I feel like it's quite underrepresented when it comes to the global scene. Like people always talk about the Amazon rainforest. It's great, but we have crazy corals in Indonesia that no one else has, and I think there's so much to offer in Southeast Asia alone, or just in East Asia in general. So I'm looking towards creating more content there. Maybe perhaps working with a bigger production company to do documentaries. I think that's something I have to probably search for it myself and apply. That's something I really, really want to do, and I hope when the time comes, I can link up with the right people so that I can share stories from the region to the audience. Yes, so I think that is one part. I mean, we've already done documentaries in about local biodiversity with our national television in Singapore. So I think the next step naturally is to see what we can do outside and bring in the stories from the greater Southeast Asian region. So I mean that's the media side of things. And I do have a programs team as well. So on top of our media work, we also do conduct a lot of programs like bring the public or schools or corporates even out on nature guided walks in Singapore. We also have learning journeys. We have workshops, and of course, like I do give a lot of assembly talks and sharings. Yeah, so that team is still small but growing and expanding. We're gonna have our own physical space where there's public exhibition and workshops in Singapore. So if any of you ever come and visit, please hit me. I'll be so happy to bring you guys around. We also have our own personal office where my team works at. So growing the Just Keep Thinking team is something very exciting as well. So it's not just me and my co-founder now. It's a full-fledged company with a strong team of 7 to 8 people. So that's very exciting for us personally. And who knows, maybe like when we expand even bigger, then we can provide jobs for people, and especially for the youths out there who are looking to work in this field, because especially in Singapore, it's very limited. There's not much places that they can work at. Yeah, just because we are small. And they have to go overseas. But you know what, if they are passionate about biodiversity, they're passionate about education, they want to marry these passions together, I hope that Just Keep Thinking could be a potential workplace for them to come and join us, and they realize that they can actually earn a living through doing something that they love.
Yeah, the Asian region is your oyster, MJ, and your teams.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to explore. I work together with everyone here.
Yes, I mean, the ASEAN Center for Biodiversity hears you, and we hope that this can be one of your jumping boards to regionalize your content.
We'll do it together one day, promise.
Yes. Let's
Right.
do it.
So, yeah, we're excited. So, well, at this point, I know we have a very limited time. I mean, it's such a very fruitful and productive conversation. I hope we can have you in another episode in the future, and maybe we'll do it on site. But
yes, I'll let you guys know when I'm visiting.
yeah. So but in the meantime, we'll have to make do with this setup for now. But we did learn a lot of things from you, and we hope that our viewers will also be able, especially those who are aspiring to be science communicators in the future, will learn a lot from the tips that you provided. So, is there any other message you want to share with any final message to our viewers, especially for the ASEAN youth?
Ooh. I think my message to you guys will be to just do it. Okay, I know it sounds cliche, but I started out the channel from just posting a video just because I wanted to post a video and I thought it was fun. It's a side passion project. I think once you start, that's where you can gain a lot of the experience and where you might need to work on. But if you don't even start in the first place, right, how will you know? If you just keep it in the back of your head and you just keep thinking about the idea or think that you can't do it, then you will never begin. I think especially now, there's so much tools out there and so much free knowledge out there for you to actually kickstart your journey in content creation. Just Google online, you can easily find someone teaching you how to start a video, how to use the different platforms. The platform itself is also been very much simplified for you to create videos very seamlessly. Even just putting the subtitles there or having a green screen, you can do it on TikTok already. So I think with such platforms available that makes content creation so accessible, it's so easy to start creating a content out there, and you don't need like cameras or professional equipment, especially on TikTok. I mean, if you want to create a documentary, I'm sorry, that's another level. You probably do need those equipments and high definition videos. But science communication takes in so many forms. So now if you do on Instagram, you do on TikTok, it's very easy. In fact, the more authentic and the more low quality of videos are, it works better on TikTok. It actually works better. They don't really, for some reason, the audience there doesn't like very high definition videos. Yeah, so if you go out there and you be your authentic self and you share your passion, chances are you will reach out to an audience that will appreciate it. And even if you don't do videos, I mean, not everyone is keen about videos. If you have a knack for drawing things, for writing, that's where Instagram will be your platform. So science communication is just not just limited to videos alone. There's so many ways to do it. You know, some of my friends, they write poems and they share about their love for nature through poems. Some of them do skits, so skits for children, and that's how they share. Yeah, you know, that's how they communicate science to a younger audience out there. So there's so much ways to communicate science, and you don't have to be a social media content creator. Even scientists, they are science communicators as well. So the world, like you said, the world is your oyster. The different platforms are your oysters too. So feel free to explore and have fun with it, because when you have fun with it, your audience feels it as well, and they feel your energy, and they will get excited about what you're excited about.
Yeah, that's right. Science, make it entertaining the way MJ does it. So, Arvin, any additional questions from your
Well,
end?
I guess that's about it, Doc Moon.
Okay, so there you have it, biodiversity. You have heard from Biogirl MJ, the founder of Just Keep Thinking, a science communicator and a biodiversity influencer. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This has been Doc Moon.
And I'm Arv. Thank you, Doc Moon. And thank you so much, MJ. It's been fun. And please don't forget to like, follow, subscribe our social media channels. And back to you, Doc Moon.
Okay, so thank you very much for this. And we hope you enjoyed this very special episode with MJ, Biogirl MJ. Happy ASEAN month, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.